Welcome back to Central Valley Talk, COVID edition. Some good things are coming out of COVID is that we used to only have guests from our region here in California. COVID has taught us how to use these remote technologies to bring people right into our studio from other places. And today our guest is Dusti Pate, and I'm going to tell you the website here in a second, healingthepresent.com. Now, I just want to, sometimes I never let my guests talk. I do all the talking. We've had a crazy time here in California. We've had, of course, the election. There was a lot of tension over that. The COVID, a lot of tension over that. And we were just choked in for a month with these forest fires that dumped smoke into our area. There's a lot of anxiety going on, I guess, not just here, but all over the nation. Tell us about anxiety or how people should be. Oh, the other thing happening is the holidays too.
Yes, the holidays.
Maybe more anxiety from that than anything.
Absolutely, especially right now, if you think about it with COVID, and normally the holidays are just kind of you just get kind of wound up because you're not sure where to go spend your time at, especially if you come from a split family. It's like, do I go to mom's house or dad's house? How do I divide my time? And then people are worried, of course, about money and being able to get gifts. But then you throw in COVID this year, and so many people have lost their jobs. They're on a tighter budget. And then with the increase in cases, especially since Thanksgiving, it's like, do I go visit family or do I stay home? I don't know. I don't know what I'm supposed to do because this could make things worse. It could make things better if I stay home. But then the family, you want to see your family.
Yep.
So I definitely have noticed there's been an increase of anxiety. I know for myself, it's been just through the roof because I just want to be able to go see my family, but I work also in a nursing home. So it's like, do I expose myself and then expose those people? So a lot of things going on. So one of the things that I wanted to address about that is being able to handle those emotions. And a lot of times we get a lot of fear, worry, get frustration. We're very indecisive, of course, about it, and then nervous. And then if we don't do the things that our families expect us to do, then we kind of feel kind of like that failure aspect. So one of the cool things about the body code and emotion code, which is what I do, we can help release a lot of those emotions through the body code, which is an awesome way to kind of help decrease those anxiety levels. The other thing we need to learn, I know I'm very guilty, very, very guilty of this, is learning to set boundaries. Boundaries is a big problem, especially if you're like a people pleaser like me. You want to make sure everybody's happy.
Yep.
And around the holidays, we definitely are trying to make everybody happy. Make sure the kids have the gifts they want, and mom and dad, we go see them. But we've got to learn to set some boundaries. You need to identify and understand what boundaries you need, first of all. And then you need to make sure that you are being straightforward with people. Tell them this is what I plan on doing, and don't apologize for it. I mean, if they don't like it, that's fine. They don't have to like it, but it's going to help decrease your anxiety when I've already told people this is what I'm going to do for myself, and I'm not going to step over that line. That keeps you in check. That will definitely help your anxiety. And then, of course, if people start to violate it, you can just calmly not take it personal and say, hey, look, sorry, I'm not going there, not going there.
It's not you, it's me, right? Yeah.
It's me. Yeah, it's definitely not you. It's all about me here. And you should just always trust your intuition. Just trust your gut. Because if it feels like somebody's really pushing you and you're kind of getting yourself all sick and worried about it, then you probably shouldn't be doing it. So
I like the idea of letting people know the rules, so to speak. Because if they don't know the rules and they're violating your rules and you didn't tell them the rules, it just starts building up till somebody's going to pop a little bit. Yeah.
Exactly. And then you get yourself all worked up about it.
Yeah.
And then what we end up doing is if we don't set those boundaries, we start just kind of like bending them. And then, we expect others to just know what we're thinking, know what we want, which that's not healthy. And then you get upset and frustrated because now they're doing everything that you didn't want. Well, if you didn't tell them, how are they supposed to know, right?
Yeah.
Also, a lot of times, especially around this time of the year, we tend to overextend ourselves.
Yeah.
So we'll say yes to things we know in the back of our head we don't want to do. You know, the teacher calls up and says, we need a batch of cookies for the, the school thing. And you already got so much on your plate. And you're like, oh, sure, yeah. And then you're stressing yourself out while you're trying to cook them the night before they're due or whatever. Just say no. You don't have to do everything. Learn to say no.
Can't do it. Okay.
No, I can't do it. And then a lot of times we'll tend to make decisions based off of what we think other people want, or we're worried about their opinion if we don't do X, Y, or Z.
Yeah.
So learning to set that boundary also helps you to know what you want, not really per se care. I mean, that's not the right word per se. What other people's opinions are. You've got to do what's in your best interest, because you're the one that has to go home and sleep with yourself at night. Yeah. You're the one going home having that panic attack and feeling sick to your stomach because you got too much on your plate. You're the one that has to deal with it, not them. So don't base your decisions based off of somebody else's opinion.
Or expectations, or, yeah, I get
exactly.
that. I'm glad you said all that, because I'm heading into the season,
Exactly. I am too. And it's like a prime example, my daughter, she's in college. And she has been up at the college campus. And of course, there's increased rates amongst the college students. That happens. And so was torn. She was very torn about the fact, should she come home for the holidays knowing the rates are up? She might have been exposed, and then she comes and sees us, and what about going to see grandma and grandpa, etc. And so she's been on the fence, and I told her, you do what you feel is best for you and what you want to do. And the sad thing is, she's got friends that their families are guilting the other friends that she knows to come home, and they feel very strongly about not going home because they don't want to take that risk.
Right.
But at the same time, they still want to see. And, I told her, don't feel guilty. You do what you need to do. That is a healthy boundary. That's something that's going to decrease her anxiety too. She's not going to feel guilty because I was expecting something from her. Sure, I want to see her. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But not at the risk, and not at also if she's not comfortable with it. So she's an adult. She can make those decisions.
Yep. My son flew out from New York to California, and he just got a hotel and quarantined, and I said, good for her. What a grown-up kid, to do that. Because I'm saying, no, you come straight to my house. He says, nope, Dad, I'm not going to do that to you. Then my octogenarian parents, their house is the center of all of our universe. And we find ourselves, I want to ask you about this time of year, Thanksgiving, and everybody says, who's going to be there? Because half the family aren't careful, they don't take precautions, they don't wear masks, and the other half the family's protecting the parents, trying to be careful. And, we ended up with 4 for Thanksgiving, so I think it went really well. But there's a lot of pressure just to show up and, somebody says, get that mask off. Why are you wearing that mask? It's a hoax. And wow, the anxiety levels really go up. So I like what you said about setting the boundaries.
Absolutely. And that will help you out. I mean, again, taking care of yourself isn't necessarily a selfish thing. Some people also try to make that seem like, oh, you're just worried about yourself and you're being so selfish. It's not. It's not a selfish thing. You've got to take care of yourself. They're the ones going home doing their thing. You go home and do your thing. You don't need to be worried about what they're judging you or not. That's just kind of adding fuel to the fire if you worry about that.
A little extra anxiety for the season, the holiday season. Yeah.
Exactly. Absolutely. And then, like I said, one of the good things about the body code and emotion code that I do, the practice that I work with, is we have ways to release a lot of that anxiety. I know for myself, over the years of working with that, I used to get panic attacks all the time. I could just be sitting here and all of a sudden just feel overwhelmed. And I come to realize that a lot of that was because I was not setting boundaries, always trying to please everybody, make everybody happy. But 2, I was repressing a lot of this worry and frustration and whatnot. And when I learned how to release those emotions and get them out of my system, I could breathe. I wasn't waking up in the morning feeling like this all the time. So it's been such a great blessing to be able to have that modality, to be able to take care of those things. And then on top of that, learn how to set those boundaries, how to be able to say no and not worry about pleasing everybody all the time.
So I see two sides to it. One is setting the boundaries. That's kind of almost setting up ahead of time. And still on the back end, you're still going to have some anxiety, but maybe you're going to stop some of them by setting up these boundaries. But I know we're running out of time, but I need to get to this. You keep talking about the code, the emotion code, the body code. Where can we find out? I mean, this sounds like we need to know about this stuff. Where do we start?
Well, you can check out my website, first of all, www.healingthepresent.com. There's a bunch of information that kind of breaks it down. The emotion code and body code was originally established by Dr. Bradley Nelson. You can always look up information about him and that whole situation. There's a book about it, The Emotion Code by Dr. Bradley Nelson as well. It's a great modality of just releasing the energy that's left alone inside of your body that causes you to feel imbalanced. And it's really easy to do. You can do it on yourself, but a lot of people don't take the time or the effort to take care of learning how to do that. So they can come to somebody like myself and have it done for them.
Yeah. I don't have time to master another art that you've already mastered. So it'd be nice to get somebody as a guide to kind of take you through that, I would imagine. So
yeah, it's easy.
And I don't think about it much because I feel I'm kind of laid back and I don't get overcome by anxiety. But I bet there's not one person that could not benefit from this. Everybody has anxiety, no matter what level frequency you operate on.
Exactly.
Yeah. And also maybe picking up some things you're doing to other people, causing their anxiety. I bet that could help with that too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It can help with not just anxiety. It can obviously help with, it can help actually with pain.
With pain and all of that. We're breaking up a little bit.
But I have, sorry, it could be my internet with the rain that we were discussing.
The Texas internet. It's bigger. It's a bigger internet because everything's bigger in Texas. Dusty Pate, it's Healing the Present. Just go start there. I want to tell our viewers, start there, Healing the Present. Reach out to Dusty and see how you can get started down this path for yourself. We're out of time, but I just want to give you a moment or two because I had so many questions. Anything else you wanted to add?
I think you hit it all, Mike. Actually, we're good. I just wanted to remind everybody, just don't get too anxious. Remember, set your boundaries and learn to say no during this holiday season. It's okay to do what's in your best interest and not worry about other people's opinions about it.
Yeah. And I want to tell you this, just a few minutes we talked, the little hints you gave, which is probably this much of the whole picture, it's already going to help me. I'm going to go into set the boundaries and you know, for example, hey, if people come without masks, I'm just going to leave. No hard feelings. That's just on me and right. Things like that. And so thanks, Dusty. And we're going to have you back, I hope, every month or so.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good to me.
Dusty Pate. Just go to the website, healingthepresent.com. We'll be back with more Central Valley Talk right after this.